Welcome back, share bearers. Today's video is my update number 2 for Project Book Smartz, which was started by Zelma from Zelma and Lissa. If you haven't checked her channel out, please do. I will leave a link to her channel down below, as well as Haffina, who is also taking part in this project. This is a year-long project in which we are reading as much as we possibly can. So I will say in my first go around, I did not do so hot. I have done significantly better this time. So let's get into this. So the first book, I had only finished 2 in my first 5 that I picked. And they were a book you were supposed to read in school but didn't. I chose Lord of the Flies, which I finished, and book you haven't read, and I chose A Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware, which I finished. I also had a play. I chose The Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling, and a science fiction book was 1984 by George Orwell, and a book by a female author, and I chose Christopher's Diaries, Echoes of Dollinger by V.C. Andrews. I had not finished those 3. They have now been finished, I am pleased to say. So let's start with 1984. I have not seen the movie, but I have read the book. If you look at my book, there's coffee on it because this is what happens when you have an ungraceful cat. She decided to jump up on my desk and hit my coffee, even though it was like against something and was out of the way. Somehow she still managed to hit it, so it's coffee stain, but I still read it, and I really enjoyed it, and Lord forbid if there's ever thought police. That's all I can say. Thought police. Can you imagine that kind of life? Really enjoyed it. I love George Orwell. I had read Animal Farm in school. So, and that is originally why I bought this book, was because of Animal Farm, because I wanted to reread it. But to read 1984 was really good. Was really good. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I might be like this geek or something, I don't know. And the next book is V.C. Andrews' Christopher's Diaries, Echoes of Dollinger. This is a pretty easy read. I read it in a day. Not hard for me with V.C. Andrews. They're like what I call fluff books. Plain and simple, fluff book. So I read it in a day, and it pretty much is what it is. It's a story of a girl reading a diary that was from her cousins or her family ancestors, and she found it in the ruins of Foxworth Manor, which was the manor in which the kids were kept in the attic. If you haven't seen Flowers in the Attic, spoiler alert, 4 children are locked in an attic and have to survive while their mother and grandmother are poisoning them. And they find out the story that their mother married her own uncle. But if you read it, truly read the entire series of Flowers in the Attic, you have to read the prequel, you will know. Another spoiler. Her uncle wasn't really her uncle, he was her half-brother, because it was a mistress that the father, the kid's mother's father, their grandfather, had taken and gotten pregnant. There you go. Half-brother, not uncle. So the whole family was based on a lie anyway. So let's discuss that. Very bad. Then the last book is the Harry Potter the Cursed Child. I will run this if you haven't read it. It's a play. I find plays kind of hard to read, but because I am a Harry Potter fan, I had to read it, you know. I had to have it. It's the 8th story, 19 years later. If you haven't read it, you can give it a try. Most people do not like it. I'm neither here nor there. It was okay, but I'm not a play person. I am not going to read Shakespeare. Don't like Shakespeare. Don't like Shakespeare. My sister and I have so many fights about that. So then the next ones were, I picked 2 more because I had finished the 2, and I chose for banned book, I chose Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. So I had 2 J.K. Rowlings. Easy read, easiest book in the series. I mean, it's the first book. It was like a day-long read. So I did finish this again. Always love it. Harry Potter, it's got my heart. I would live in the wizarding world. Muggle or wizard or half-blood. I don't care. And the last book is a book more than 10 years old, and I chose World War Z by Max Brooks. I have not read this one yet. So it is the next on my list of books to read, but I think the fact that I got through 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 5, I think that's pretty good, because in there I worked and I did birthday parties. I actually worked 13 days straight. So I think I did pretty good, and yeah. And I also was reading a book on my phone when I was at work, and now I'll be sticking a book in my purse because I finished that book. So I actually read 5 books in that time, but now I will be reading that one, and I will be choosing 4 more books, and I do have my list of her categories. So let's go to random number generator, and hopefully I have books like this so that I can actually do it. So my first number is 47. I have not had that one yet. And it is a book that came out the year you were born. This could be difficult. I do not think I have a book that came out the year I was born. So I may not be able to do this. Next number is 62. Do I have a 62? I do not have a 62 yet. A book by a diverse author. Number 84. A book set during a holiday. And the last number is number 42. And it is read a fictional historical fiction. Okay, so I guess I'm going to go and try and find these books to work with. These could be difficult. These could really be difficult. Okay, so here's a scoop. I have nothing that is published the year I was born. Nothing. And when I look through books that were published the year I was born, most of them were children's books, which I don't have. There was a lot of Judy Blume books. Let's put it that way. I do have a Judy Blume novel that's for adults, but not published in 1972. And I thought, I could have swore I had The Help. and that was the one I was going to choose for diverse, and I cannot find it anywhere. My best bet is my stepdaughter borrowed it and is now sitting at her place. So I have to choose 2 new books so I could finish this list. So I am back to my number generator, and I already have 69, don't I? Okay, 1969 is a most overrated book. Okay, I might be able to do that one. Actually, I am going to do that one, and I am going to name it right now. I am going to say it is 50 Shades of Grey, and I'm going to borrow it from my sister. And number 4, A Book Your Friend Loves. And I'm going to choose the second in the series for... Okay, so for A Book Your Friend Loves, I am going to choose Catching Fire, which is the second book in the Hunger Games series, because she loved these. That's Kelly. And 50 Shades of Grey for most overrated book, because I'm sure it's overrated. For a book set during holiday, I have chosen Ghost Stories of Christmas book, which I have read most of these anyway, but this is going to be like a one weekend read. For historical fiction, I am choosing The American Heiress, which I'm sure will be quite interesting. It's set in 1893, so that's historical. So that's everything for this. Oh man, Project Book Smartz. Apparently I'm not as diverse a reader as I think I am, and I'm sure I had the help, and I'm sure my stepdaughter borrowed it, because it's going to drive me nuts now. I'm positive I bought it. I bought it after I watched the movie. I went, oh, I want to read the book now, because you know the book's going to be so much better. So that's everything. Much love, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.